Good morning, and welcome back to Daily Dhamma, a letter to our children. Today is August 19th, and our reading is A Grownup is Cheerful. Grown-ups make the best of our situation. We don't go through life torturing the people around us. Life isn't fair, but bitching about it only spreads misery for ourselves and others. Having a sense of humor is one of the most important attributes we can have. It will keep us sane and positive. We cannot control what happens in life, but we can and should control our reaction to it. Our attitude is up to us, not others. We don't blame others for our problems. Shit happens, so find healthy ways to deal with it. Everybody has to be somewhere, so we make the most of our situation. Life is what we make it. You know, Viktor Frankl made a similar point in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. His observation was in the concentration camps, he was in Auschwitz and later in Dachau, was that people who had a sense of humor actually lived longer or lived at all as opposed to other people. And I'm not sure what you can read into that. I want to be careful about committing sociology or making big decisions on that. But he has a point, and as he had throughout that book, he's also the one that said everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And when somebody writes that from a place like Auschwitz, the least we can do is pay attention to it. He had a really good point about that too. We get to choose our interpretation of life and our evaluation of life. The description might be objectively set, but what we make of it is a different thing. So it's important for us to do that. We can make a hell of heaven or a heaven of hell, and it all comes down to the way that we interpret things. The 19th of every month, of course, is our version of the Scout Law. We've adapted it to grown-ups. A grown-up is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And this is August 19th, and a grown-up is cheerful. Joy is a little bit different than cheerful. Cheerful is kind of on the surface. Joy is deeper. If I had to choose between the two, I think maybe joy would be the selfish choice. Cheerfulness, though, that's kind of contagious. This puts me in mind of C.S. Lewis. If you've ever read or watched Shadowlands, it's well worth your time. And there's an American woman named Mrs. Gresham who communicates with C.S. Lewis, wants to reach out and be in contact with him. And she drops by the kilns, his housing outside of Oxford. And at one point in the movie, she asks if she can call him by his name. He says yes, and she introduces herself as Joy, and that's the first time I flashed on the idea of that book of his, Surprised by Joy. Surprised by Joy indeed. There are many memorable parts in that screenplay, not least of which is in December of 1952, he's giving a talk at a church, and he's talking about the problem of evil and suffering. And he says, well, maybe God doesn't want us to be happy. He wants us to love and be loved. He wants us to grow up. So happy trails to you until we meet again.